Hello, next-gen leaders. Welcome to Drive in Leadership Lane, where we navigate the roadmap of success to accelerate your career and steer your organization toward greatness. Today, we're popping the hood on the big bang of business books, In Search of Excellence by Tom Peters and Robert Waterman. Before 1982, management was treated like a cold math science. Leaders thought if the organizational chart was perfect, success was guaranteed. But Peters and Waterman, two McKinsey consultants, noticed the companies with the best charts weren't always the winners. They studied 43 titans like 3M, IBM, and McDonald's to find out what they were actually doing differently. Why does this matter in the age of AI and remote work? Because we often forget the human element. Excellence isn't a perfect algorithm. It's about people, action, and values. When you apply these rules, you'll stop hiding behind spreadsheets and start walking the floor. You'll stop overanalyzing and start experimenting. So, let's shift gears and explore the 8 attributes of excellence that define the world's best companies. Let's hit the road. Attribute 1, a bias for action. The first attribute of excellent companies is a bias for action. The authors found that while average companies were paralyzed by analysis paralysis, forming endless committees to study a problem, the excellent companies just did something. Their motto wasn't ready, aim, fire. It was ready, fire, aim. Example, the book highlights the chunking method used by companies like Procter & Gamble. Instead of trying to solve a massive problem all at once with a 200-page report, they would break it down into small, manageable chunks. They would set up small task forces, sometimes just 2 or 3 people, and give them a week to come up with a prototype or a solution. Impact for you. As a leader, you must encourage experimentation. Don't wait for the perfect plan. If you have a glitch in your software, don't schedule a meeting for next month. Get 3 engineers in a room and tell them to fix it by Friday. Speed is a competitive advantage. Attribute 2, close to the customer. The second attribute is staying close to the customer. This sounds obvious today, but in the 1980s, many companies saw customers as a nuisance. Excellent companies, however, were obsessed with them. They didn't just sell products, they listened. They viewed the customer as the ultimate source of innovation. Example, the book tells the story of IBM in its prime. IBM didn't just sell computers, they sold peace of mind. Their service was legendary. If a system went down, they would move heaven and earth to fix it, regardless of the cost. They knew that a customer who trusts you is worth more than a single transaction. Another example is Frito-Lay, where sales drivers were empowered to fix shelf displays and talk to store managers daily, ensuring they knew exactly what was selling and what wasn't. Impact for you. Are you leading from an ivory tower? Following this rule means you need to get out of the building. Spend a day in customer support. Read the complaint emails. Excellence comes from solving the customer's problem, not just hitting your sales quota. Attribute 3, autonomy and entrepreneurship. The third attribute is autonomy and entrepreneurship. As companies grow, they tend to become bureaucratic and stifle creativity. Excellent companies fight this by acting small. They encourage employees to be champions of their own ideas. They tolerate failure because they know that without failure, there is no innovation. Example. The classic example here is 3M. They have a famous policy allowing engineers to spend 15% of their time on personal projects. This bootlegging of time led to the invention of the Post-it note. A mid-level engineer had an idea, and instead of being shut down by a vice president, he was given the space to develop it. 3M understands that innovation doesn't come from the top down. It bubbles up from the bottom. Impact for you. You must create skunk works within your team. Give your people the freedom to take risks. If someone tries a new marketing strategy and it fails, don't fire them. Celebrate the attempt. If you punish failure, you kill innovation. Attribute 4, productivity through people. Attribute number 4 is productivity through people. Excellent companies treat the rank-and-file employee as the root source of quality and productivity gain. They don't view labor as a cost to be minimized. They view it as an asset to be maximized. They use terms like family, partner, or associate rather than employee. Example, Delta Airlines, at the time of the book's writing, was famous for its family feeling. The company took care of its people, and in return, the people took care of the planes and the passengers. They didn't need a union because the management was so responsive to their needs. Another example is Hewlett-Packard and the HP way, which was built on wandering around the office and showing genuine respect for every individual, from the janitor to the engineer. Impact for you. This is the most critical rule for next-gen leaders. You cannot buy loyalty. You have to earn it. Do you know the names of your team's children? Do you celebrate their wins? If you treat your people like cogs in a machine, they will work like cogs. If you treat them like partners, they will work like owners. Attribute 5. Hands-on, value-driven. The fifth attribute is being hands-on, value-driven. Excellent companies are clear about what they stand for. They have a strong corporate culture, and the leaders are the primary guardians of that culture. They don't sit in offices. They practice MBWA, management by walking around. Example, Ray Kroc of McDonald's was obsessive about quality, service, cleanliness, and value. He didn't just put these words on a poster. He lived them. When he visited a franchise, he would pick up trash in the parking lot. He checked the French fries himself. This signaled to every employee that details matter. The value system wasn't a plaque on the wall. It was the way the boss behaved. Impact for you. What are your values? If you say you value integrity, but you cut corners to make a deadline, your team sees that. You must be the living embodiment of your team's culture. Get out of your chair, walk the floor, and show them what excellence looks like. Attribute 6. Stick to the knitting. Attribute number 6 is a warning. Stick to the knitting. This means companies should stay in the business they know. The authors found that companies that tried to diversify into areas where they had no expertise often failed. Excellent companies grow by getting better at what they already do well. Example, Johnson & Johnson is a massive company, but they stick to healthcare and hygiene. They didn't try to buy an airline or a steel mill. In contrast, many conglomerates in the 70s and 80s bought unrelated businesses, like ITT buying bakeries and hotels, and ended up managing them poorly because they didn't understand the underlying business mechanics. Impact for you. Focus is power. As a leader, don't try to be everything to everyone. If your team is great at software development, don't suddenly pivot to hardware manufacturing just because it looks profitable. Master your craft before you look for new horizons. Attribute 7 and 8. Simple form, lean staff, and simultaneous loose-type properties. We will combine the final 2 attributes because they go hand in hand. Attribute 7 is simple form, lean staff. Excellent companies have simple underlying structural forms and lean top-level staffs. They don't have bloated headquarters with thousands of vice presidents. They push authority down to the line. Attribute 8 is simultaneous loose-type properties. This is the paradox of excellence. Excellent companies are tight about their core values. You must treat the customer well. You must be honest, but they are loose about how you get there. You can wear jeans. You can set your own hours. You can experiment. Example, Walmart, in its growth phase, had a tiny headquarters relative to its size. Sam Walton hated bureaucracy. He kept the organization flat so that information could travel from the store manager to the CEO instantly. Regarding loose-tight, think of a university. It is tight about academic integrity and grading standards, but loose about how a professor teaches their class. This combination allows for creativity without chaos. Impact for you. Fight complexity. If your organizational chart looks like a bowl of spaghetti, you have a problem. Simplify your structure. And remember the loose-tight rule. Be rigid on your values, but flexible on your methods. Give your team a destination, but let them choose the route. Closing remarks. In conclusion, In Search of Excellence teaches us that business is not a science, it is an art form. It is about human connection, passion, and a relentless focus on the basics. Peters and Waterman showed us that the soft stuff, culture, values, and people is actually the hard stuff. It is the foundation of long-term success. If you apply these 8 attributes, you will build a team that is agile, customer-obsessed, and fiercely loyal. You will create an environment where excellence is not just a goal, it is a habit. Thank you so much for joining me on this drive through management history. If this summary sparked an idea for your leadership journey, please hit that like button, subscribe to Drive and Leadership Lane, and share this video with a colleague who needs a boost. I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 8 attributes is your organization missing? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, keep your eyes on the road, drive safe, and lead with excellence. Goodbye.